We're live, Judge.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to County Court at Law number 6 and the Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court. Motion to revoke probation hearing Zoom day. And everything we're doing here is on remote. I have set for today 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases, it appears. First one being cause number 625341, Style State of Texas versus Jillian Nicole Keller, which is a first amended motion to revoke community supervision. I have cause number 627551, Style State of Texas versus Ali Trevino, which is a second amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, represented by Ms. Sophie Martinez, Ms. Keller being represented by Judge Joanne De Hoyos. I have cause number 481611, Style State of Texas versus Kevin Clifford Adams, which is a motion to revoke community supervision. Mr. Adams is represented by Ms. Carissa Chelkowski. I have 2 cases for Mr. Orlando Martinez, cause number 610326 and cause number 628026. And we either have Ray Martinez or Victoria. I guess we have Ray today? Is Ray with us today? Okay. Represented by Raymond Martinez. And last we have cause number 623067, Style State of Texas versus Claudia Cantu, represented by attorney Fernando Trevino. This is a first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Representing the estate in all these matters is this Criminal District Attorney Nicholas Maru. Representing the Bexar County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I will swear at this time. Ms. Gross, please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. Is Mr. Fonseca with us today? He is. John, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, Mr. Fonseca?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, both our probation officers are sworn. For Ms. Keller's case, which we're taking up first, which is the first amended motion to revoke community supervision, this is like our third or more setting. And I do not have, Pat, but correct me if I'm wrong, a defendant's consent to MTR hearing by video conference for today's date specifically, but right. She's signed 2 or 3 previous ones for other dates, right?
Yes, John.
I'll ask Judge Joanne Hoyos if, in fact, she and her client consent to having a Zoom hearing today on this issue.
Yeah. Your Honor, for the record, I think you continued the hearing, so we're still in the same hearing. So I guess that.
Okay. That's okay with you, Ms. Keller?
Yes, sir.
All right. Where we left off on Ms. Keller last time was I still wanted to talk to Mr. Lee Wilson, who is our counselor with the Veterans Administration. And I think I talked to Mr. Fonseca, and he has tried on numerous occasions to get Mr. Wilson. I tried 6 or 8 times leaving messages on the one phone number I had for Mr. Wilson and never got a call back from Mr. Wilson. So I don't know what's going on, but that's what happened on that one. I want to bounce off both the state and the defense what I have proposed for Ms. Keller. First, Mr. Fonseca, can you hear me still?
Yes, sir.
It's my understanding that right now, as we speak, Ms. Keller is in compliance. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. And Ms. Keller, you talked about Hawaii earlier. What exactly dates are we looking at for the possibility of you going to Hawaii and taking the bar exam?
February 22nd would be a travel date. The exam is the 23rd and 24th, and I would return immediately after that, starting on the 25th, but the flight that I was looking at does not arrive till the 26th, but it's just a quick turn and burn.
Judge Joanne and Mr. Maru, because I've had such a difficult time trying to get in contact with the VA counselor, and because Ms. Keller is doing so well, what I suggest to both sides is that we continue her on probation. And the only thing I do to her is I make her go to the Community Alliance for Traffic Safety Intensive Outpatient Program, which may duplicate some of the things you're already doing. But I know I can get feedback from those folks with a phone call that I'm not getting from the VA. Is that acceptable to the defense?
It is, John.
Okay with you, Ms. Keller?
I don't know what that is, but it sounds good.
Basically, all we're doing is making you do probably very close to the same thing you're doing in counseling with the VA, but you're going to do it with a different entity, which is the Community Alliance for Traffic Safety, which is an organization that does all sorts of classes for all kinds of probationers and stuff. I'm just putting you through an intensive outpatient drug rehab course instead of an inpatient course, so you can continue working and studying for the bar exam and all that. So that's okay with you, I assume?
Hallelujah. Sounds good.
And Mr. Maru, is that okay with you in the state?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Ms. Keller on call 625-341. And I don't even recall what the original plea was, but it was true to something. Without a lot.
Due to the first number for number 2.
The
It was
first.
the original cocaine, the cocaine in September, the first one.
All right. Court accepts her plea of true with an explanation to condition 2, which I'm going to call 2A for purposes of the record. And I deny the state's motion to revoke your probation or you continued on probation with all prior requirements with no sanction at this time, although I have the authority to put you in jail for 30 days to get your attention. Will that be necessary?
No, sir.
Good answer. You ought to be an attorney. That was a joke, man. Okay. I'm going to alter and amend conditions and add the Community Alliance for Traffic Safety Intensive Outpatient Program. She just needs to get registered for that in the next 10 days, Joanne. That's probably a phone call away. And I do want to give her permission to go to Hawaii to do this bar exam thing, because Sophie and I are keenly interested in how that works, because we may want to do that sometime.
We all are. Like, let us know how long it takes and everything. Hawaii, here we come, right,
Yes,
Sophie?
sure. That's exactly right. There we
We'll
go.
have our own attorney on the ground when we get there. So
Exactly. Should give us the ropes.
you currently got Miss Keller on Scram. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. So she's going to continue it during the whole time. So there's no.
All right, let's keep that going. Do we have her on weekly UAs at this point, or is that necessary?
We do have weekly UAs on the IVR call line.
How many clean weekly UAs have we had in a row so far?
Your Honor, she has continued to test positive for the marijuana. However, that's a medication, to the best of our knowledge. Other than that, the last diluted UA was November 2nd.
All right. Ms. Keller, I don't think I have the authority to order you not to use this cannabis stuff. And I'm not a physician, so I don't know what that does for you or whatever. But to the uninitiated, it looks for all the world like that's a great scam to hide smoking marijuana. So I'm requesting that you stop using this. I don't know if that's a life and death thing for you or not, but if you do, I'll take you off the weekly UA. So I'm willing to trade with you.
Okay.
So once you show me one clean UA, I'll take you off weekly UA. So that means you got to stop using this medication.
Okay. I will.
And you don't have to make that decision right now. I'll give you time to chat with Judge Joanne on it. That's
Okay.
just going to be there. But if you decide that you can live without using this cannabis based medicine, that's prescription, I think. A, I would appreciate it. And B, I will pay you back by stop. As soon as I get a clean UA from you that's not positive for THC or some marijuana derivative, I'll put you back on normal reporting without the weekly reporting UA stuff. Fair enough?
Sounds good.
All right. And Susan, we need to make arrangements. Then we can get this through Ms. Keller right now when she needs to go to Hawaii. I don't know how that Scram bracelet business works on airplanes and stuff. We need to like look at that. And the possibility exists. We may take her off of Scram and put her on a Smart Start mobile specifically so she can travel. If she can't travel with a Scram, I don't know how it works. Maybe Scram is no problem. I don't know. Do you know?
I know they've been able to travel different places with Scram. It's just they'll lose the link while they're in the plane, but it's like a phone. It'll come back on when she's in the airport.
All right. Well, if they'll let her go with the Scram, we're going to continue with the Scram because that's working really well. State, what did I miss? Anything else you want to do?
Not that I can see, Judge.
All right. Ms. Keller, we're very proud of you.
Thank you.
And I know that Judge Joanne was very straightforward with you in your conversations and told you that I would put you in jail for as long as the law allowed if you gave me the opportunity. Since apparently that conversation occurred, you've been doing good. So keep doing good, and we'll all just move along. And then we'll have our own attorney in Hawaii. That would be a wonderful thing. Judge Joanne, do you have any further input?
No, thank you so much for this.
All right. Ms. Susan, yes.
Yeah, John, if you'll take care of alter and amending conditions and getting with her on that, then I'll do all the case documentation on the hearing today.
Okay.
Mr. Fonseca, will you give her the number for Kat so she can enroll within 10 days?
Yes.
Thank
I
you.
will.
Thank you.
In fact, I'm gonna call you a little bit, Julian.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. May be excused.
Hang on just a second. I'm going to give you the cat's number. Two 210-681-8655.
Got it.
Tell them it's CatSnip, County Court 6. They know. It's a special
No,
program for them.
But
No,
this is
no.
not- this is not
It's
catnip,
not
this is intensive outpatient.
CATS IOP.
CATS IOP?
Yes, not CATSNip, IOP.
Okay.
And am
Intensive-
am I stopping with Mr. Wilson at this point? I think I'm set to finish with his.
I'm gonna leave that up to you. You can continue if that's helping you, and obviously something's helping you because you're doing really well right now. I would urge you to continue. But I'm not going to order you to do that. That's something you can do voluntarily. I think you're going to be going over the same type of stuff if I were guessing. But I would discuss that with Judge Joanne before you make a decision. But just let us know which way you're going to go. If you're not going to continue with the VA, it's okay with me because I've got you doing other stuff. But that's up to you. Okay.
So, Your Honor, if she stops with the VA, she's not in some kind of violation. She's going to go as soon as she gets into CATS Iowa.
And that's why I want, because I think I originally ordered her to continue doing what she was doing with counseling with the VA.
Right, okay.
So if she decides that she wants to stop that, just let me know and I'll turn amend and waive that. And just, we're going to have the CATS intensive outpatient requirement as of today, and that'll take care of it.
Okay.
Can I make a suggestion? Continue with the VA until you go to the bar exam and then start IOP when you get back, but you need to register with CATS within the next 10 days.
Okay, will do.
Okay, y'all are released. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Good luck, Ms.
Good
Keller.
luck, Lillian.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, I have cause number 627-551, Theta, Texas versus Ali Trevino. This is.
Judge,
Yes.
before you move forward, I just want to let you know, we are going to be, because I don't want you to get too far into it, that we are going to be recommending to withdraw the MTR and term unsat on this.
Let's talk about that. Go ahead and make your motion.
State moves to withdraw the MTR and term Ms. Trevino unsatisfactory.
No objections.
That would be granted. Ms. Martinez has weaved her magic again.
Thank you, everyone.
Question for Ms. Trevino. Ms. Trevino, are you currently on a device?
She's
Yes,
on
ma'am.
Scram.
On Scram? As part of bond or probation?
It was a condition of her bond, I believe.
Okay, then the bond people will be the ones to send the removal notice. She'll need to check with them about when she can go and get the device off. So you
Can
don't
we-
have a Start Mobile at all right now?
Yes, she does.
Okay, that will probably be filed tomorrow. And the officer has to send it over there, so she'll probably be able to turn it in on Wednesday.
Can we confirm that Scram was a condition of bond? Because I believe I did see that, Susan, on the copy of on the MTR, that the
Yes.
judge wrote 10,000 Scram, full GPS and weekly reporting in UA.
Yes, so the Scram removal will have to come from pretrial. But I will take care of the Smart Start removal, but she probably won't be able to turn it in until Wednesday. I
So
can't
we
hear
can do you know who her pretrial officer is so we can communicate with them to get the Scram device off?
No, we don't have that information.
Okay,
But the court clerk, they'll send it over there, and then they're usually pretty good about sending it right over. But again, that also probably isn't gonna happen until tomorrow.
okay. I'll call you in a minute, Ms. Trevino, and talk to you about it.
Okay.
Okay, this is cause number 481-611, style Theta, Texas versus Kevin Clifford Adams. This is a motion to revoke community supervision. Mr. Adams and Ms. Chalkowski, I initially have two documents for you to identify your signatures on. The first one is titled Defendant's Consent to MTR Hearing by Video Conference. Mr. Adams, did you sign this document, sir? And sir, you're gonna have to turn your microphone on. I can't hear you. Thank you, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, yes, sir, I can.
Yes.
All right. And Ms. Chalkowski, as attorney for Mr. Adams, is your signature on this document.
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Second document I have is trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, which is marked as a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has the right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. And Mr. Adams, is your signature on this document, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. And Ms. Shalkowski, as attorney for Mr. Adams, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Thank you. My understanding is this is uncontested motion to revoke probation. Is that correct, Ms. Shalkowski?
Correct.
Okay. And previously mentioned, the ADA is Mr. Nicholas Maru, the CSCD officer is Ms. Susan Gross, who's been previously sworn. To the motion to revoke community supervision, how does Mr. Adams plead?
True with an explanation, Your Honor.
All right. What's the status of Mr. Adams' probation, please, Ms. Gross?
Judge, Mr. Adams has performed poorly on probation. He was allowed to reside in the state of New York and report by mail. During the term of his probated sentence, he missed 5 months of reporting. We've not heard from him since September 29th, 2016. He paid $1,491 and he has a $1 balance. We have no record of any of his 48 hours community service having been completed. As a result of his out-of-state status, we have no drug tests on file. He did complete DWI education, victim impact panel, and a drug evaluation. We have no record of him completing an outpatient drug program. His officer is recommending revocation. This is his first violation report, first MTR, no criminal history, and the case did expire August 13th of 2016.
All right, you got me confused, Ms. Gross. If he's been gone since 2016, he's been gone several years, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Shalkowski, what's going on with Mr. Adams? We haven't seen in a while.
On the motion to revoke, Judge, we just have 14, 15, 16, and 18. 14, the community service hours, which Mr. Adams did pay in full back in October or November of 2015. I believe he was still looking for receipt and his credit card statement showing that payment was made in full.
They acknowledge he's paid in full except for $1 or something. So he's good to go on payment. That's not a problem.
Correct, yes. And then so number 15 is the DWI Victim Impact Panel. He has completed that. I sent the certificate to probation. The DW Education is number 16. He has completed that. And I also sent that certificate over. And then the last is the failure to register for and or attend an outpatient drug evaluation. And he did do that outpatient drug evaluation in the form of SASE through Alamo Education Center. And I did forward his results over to them, which was a low need or no need for any kind of further treatment.
Basically, he's pleading true with an explanation to 14 and the rest are not true. Would that be accurate?
Correct.
Okay, great. Thanks. Go ahead. And why have we not seen him in several years? What's the situation going on that caused that?
Well, he lives in New York, Your Honor. The probation was transferred there. And so he was, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, but he was under the understanding he had completed everything. He paid it all. And he just had these classes that he needed to do. And my understanding, there was some miscommunication from his probation officer of to do them there or to do them here. And so obviously when this came out, I told him, hey, you can get them done. You can do them through Zoom. And he went and did them, and he went and did everything. It's just this community service hours which is the, and again, Kevin, I don't know if you can hear me, but did you ever find your credit card and or receipt?
I didn't. I believe that I mailed that in with through the post office with a money order. But I think if that's a problem, I would pay that again to resolve this issue. If I need to pay it again, but I did pay it.
Judge, if I may, in regards to the reporting issue, for the month of November, his reporting document was late, and then he didn't report at all for the month of February, April, or May, or July, or August. So he had 5 months of flat out not reporting and like 2 months of late reporting.
Shouldn't that have been alleged by the CSCD department as one of the things he did wrong? Because it's not alleged that I can see.
One would think so, but I'm not his officer, Your Honor. I cannot answer
A
for that.
law thing, Ms. Shelkowski, don't they have to prove what they've alleged on a motion?
Yeah, that's why I was, stating that was in the violation.
Community service hours, but I can't be mad at him for being AWOL. Is that not what the law requires me to do?
Correct.
You agree, Mr. Maru?
Yes, Judge, 100%.
Hey, Mr. Adams, what are you doing in New York?
Right now, we're in the middle of a snowstorm. I'm in the construction industry. We're getting like 2 foot of snow right now. But I work in the construction industry, and I didn't realize, a year ago or so that I had this outstanding warrant, and I was getting on base at Stewart Airport, and it became an issue. So I'd like to resolve this.
I'll find out, Susan, that Mr. Adams was assessed when he pled in looks like 31 August 2015.
I apologize, Judge. You cut out. What was your question?
Sure. What was his original fine amount?
His original fine when he was placed on probation was $750.
Judge, do you want state recommendation on this?
Sure, that'd be wonderful.
State's going to recommend revocation and a judgment satisfied.
He's got 1 day in jail, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe that's correct.
And Your Honor, he does have an active warrant. So you need to recall that, whatever you do.
Okay, Mr. Adams, the court accepts your plea of true to condition 14 with an explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your probation. I sentence you to 3 days in the Bexar County Jail, a $750 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Adams, and we're going to recall any warrants out there.
No, Judge.
Your Honor, do I need to do anything on the recall?
I think living in New York is probably punishment enough under the circumstance. Anything further? Carissa, you good?
Do I need to do anything on the recall on the warrant, Judge?
No, I have to send that in to my clerks and they'll put it on the computer.
Perfect.
I wouldn't go running around town attracting attention from the local constabulary just yet, Mr. Adams, but probably within 24 hours, you'll be squeaky clean on the computer.
I appreciate it, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Good to see everyone.
Thank you, Carissa.
May be excused.
Bet.
Thank you.
Okay, double whammy. I've got cause 610-326 and 628-026. State of Texas versus Orlando Martinez. 326 is a motion to revoke community supervision. And 628-026 is a motion to revoke community supervision. So, Mr. Martinez, and I'm talking to the defendant at this point, Mr. Orlando Martinez, and cause 610-326 and 628-026. I have 4 documents for you to identify, and 2 are exactly the same. They just have a different case number on it. The first one is entitled Defendant's Consent to MTR Hearing by Video Conference, and there's one of these in cause 610-326 and one in cause 628-026. Are these your signatures on each of these 2 documents, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Raymond Martinez, as attorney for Mr. Orlando Martinez, are these your 2 signatures on these 2 documents?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I have, or rather documents, plural, Mr. Orlando Martinez, is a trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, which is marked as a revocation of the defendant's community supervision. And the defendant has the right to appeal the court's action revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. And Mr. Orlando Martinez, one of these documents for each case, 610326 and 628026. Did you sign 2 documents, one for each of these cases of this appeal document? Is that correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Raymond Martinez, is this your signature on both these documents?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Let's see. Representing the state on both these cases is Mr. Nicholas Maru. Representing the Bexar County CSDD is Ms. Susan Gross. On both these cases, where our mind is still under oath. Is Mr. Fonseca still with us? We cut him loose, hopefully. Okay, good. My understanding, Mr. Raymond Martinez, is that both these cases are uncontested MTRs. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. In cause number 610326, Mr. Orlando Martinez, on the motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
True.
Okay, Ms. Gross, what's the status of Mr. Martinez, Mr. Orlando Martinez, probation and 610326?
Judge, this is his first violation report, first motion to revoke. His reporting has been good. We last saw him on 21 January of this year. He has not made any payments on this case and has a balance of $20. We show no proof of completion of any of his 36 hours of community service. He's had 3 positives for alcohol on his Smart Start mobile device. He's had no negative drug tests, 2 diluted drug tests, and failed to submit on 1 occasion. We have no proof of enrollment or completion of DWI education, victim impact panel, or CATSNP program. He's currently on Smart Start mobile, testing it 4 times a day. He's had 12 skips and 1 high BRAC of 0.015 on December 18th, 2020 at 6:49 p.m. and did not blow to clear. He has 1 prior arrest for an obstruction of highway. His officer is recommending that he do a 10-day jail sanction, start submitting to weekly drug tests, and that his Smart Start mobile device be increased to 6 times per day.
State recommendation?
Is Mr. Martinez going to make any type of, I would like to hear what he's going to say beforehand, Judge, before I make my recommendation.
Right, let's go to you then, I guess. I'm sorry. Mr. Raymond Martinez, what are y'all requesting?
Judge, before I tell you that, I would tell you that he has registered for DWI education and the VIP Live and the CATSNP, and he may have actually completed one of those. He may have to clear that up for me, although he may not have turned in his proof of it yet. And Judge, currently you've got him on full house arrest on GPS. He is still in this portable and he's scheduled to put on the scram. Our request, Judge, is that we're not going to object to the increased blows. We would suggest to the court that he could be sanctioned with, now it's been about 4 or 5 days that he's been on full house arrest at home and lost work and all the other inconveniences. So we would ask that that be the sanction and that he continue with all the other conditions of probation.
State, now what's your recommendation?
Judge, state's going to recommend increasing the Smart Start blows up to 6 and that he be continued on probation.
Ray, the textbook solution is inpatient rehab. And of course, nobody wants to go to inpatient rehab. And the backup plan, if they don't want to go to inpatient rehab, is a jail sentence. Of course, nobody wants to go to jail. So what I'm proposing, but I want to see what the defense feels about it first and what the state feels about it is, Mr. Martinez is going to go on a scram bracelet, and the probability is he's going to stay on that scram bracelet throughout his entire probation, which costs a lot of money, but it's a lot more fun than going to jail for about a year. Is that something that the defense would consider equitable under the circumstances?
Certainly, Judge, if that means the GPS would come off and he'd be allowed to work as many hours as they'll let him work.
That would be accurate.
And I'm guessing the court would reconsider after prolonged compliance, potentially.
Well, he's reporting well. I mean, that's his one huge good thing that he's been doing. So thank you, Mr. Martinez, for that. But he has an extensive history of alcohol issues. You know, he's going to have to learn, even when he's off probation, drink all you want, just don't drive, because that's, hasn't helped us out the last 3 times. Susan, what do you think about putting him in intensive outpatient with CATS in addition to his regular CATS course, or switch it over, whatever you want to do?
In conjunction with a scram device, we would have no objection to that.
All right. State, what's your position on my proposal?
Judge, so long as he's able to work to afford the scram, which would mean taking off the GPS, the state does not object.
That's not a problem. That's fully within my intention. Mr. Orlando Martinez, where are you working, sir?
I work at the Rustic.
Hang on, we're having. Fixed it. And which restaurant do you work at, sir?
The Rustic at La Cantera.
Okay, gotcha.
Judge, I'm not sure if it's an issue, but I think the Rustic is also a bar, if I'm not correct.
Almost all restaurants have the bar component, but bottom line is if he's on a scram, if he decides to fall off the wagon, we're going to find out pretty quickly. If I were guessing, would you not agree? Okay, so I mean that's the whole
court's attention. That's all.
And ultimately, the decision is going to be within the discretion of Mr. Orlando Martinez. Either he's successful and he stays away from alcohol, or he violates again, and then I'll let Mr. Raymond Martinez explain to him what will happen at that time. Apparently, I have 2 Class A DWIs as underlying offenses. Do we all agree on that?
That's correct, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
It means I have a year on each case, which could be easily stacked, making it 2 years. So, Mr. Orlando Martinez, we're going to give you one more chance. And the scram brace is going to cost some money and it's going to be a hassle, but it's going to be a whole lot more fun than 2 years in jail. And your attorney will verify for you how quickly I will drop those 2 years on you if you give me an opportunity. So don't give me an opportunity. We understand each other, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is
Is that true with the smart mobile device as well?
No. What's going to happen is I will send in my order after we finish this hearing today to my clerks, and they'll get it on the computer. It's probably going to be tomorrow before it's active on the computer. You're going to have 10 days to get a scram bracelet on. I guess you've already got an appointment, do you not, Ray? Somewhere in there?
He does, Judge. He does.
As soon as that scram bracelet is active, you can turn in the Smart Start mobile device, so you're not paying for 2 devices.
Judge, he's gonna have to prove to his officer that he has the device before we can sign an order to send over.
I think they give him a receipt when he gets it activated, and all he needs is a copy of the receipt. Because Ray won't let him do anything colorful because Ray knows better. Would you agree, Ray?
I agree, Judge. We don't want to do that at this point.
So bottom line is, he's reporting okay. He's going to be on scram. Ray's already got him headed in the right direction. Theoretically, you're already registered for all these programs that we don't have proof of you registered for. And if there's something out there that you haven't done or registered for yet, do that. If you would rather donate money for your community service hours to a port charity like Wounded Warrior Organization or Family Violence Preventive Organization, something like that, Ray can explain how that works. But by tomorrow, the GPS stuff requirement will be off. As far as I'm concerned, Ray, even if he's still on GPS, he can go to work with my permission. It might come up as a violation report, but
Yes,
you have my permission from this point forward, to go to work. So
That'd be great, Judge. Thank you.
all right. State, what did I miss?
Nothing I can see, Judge.
Okay.
Judge, I have one question.
Sure.
Am I able to leave my house as of today then?
As far as I'm concerned, there is a danger because you're still going to be hot on the computer. So I'll let Mr. Martinez has my cell phone number, but if they stop you on the street for a traffic violation and you got a warrant on the computer, you're going to jail. It's just that simple. And even if I talk to the police officer, he's not going to believe who it is over the phone. So, I'm trying to be a nice guy, but I can't control everything. So that's kind of where we're at. I would suggest tomorrow, just to turn it all, say you're free to do what you want to do as of tomorrow, because this information will be on the computer by then and we'll all be covered. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
Honor, thank you.
Hang on, let me get my notes down here so I don't forget something. So Susan, did we want to waive? Do we want to add intensive outpatient and waive cat snip? Is he in cat snip? What's going on with cat snip?
I did my first class of cat snip on Saturday.
I don't see a reason to make him go to both classes. Do you?
No.
All right. What's gonna happen? Thank you for going to that class, and maybe hopefully they'll let your money switch over to the course. But instead of the community, the prevention program, It's intensive outpatient. And to be brutally honest, I don't know the difference other than they understand that you have a more severe alcohol issue than a normal person. And they try to change the way you think about alcohol, I think is kind of where all that comes from. Ray, you may know more about it than I do. I don't know.
I'll talk to him about it, Judge.
All right. And Ray, you can call Dean over there anytime and he'll be happy to chat with you about how all that works and what he recommends and that kind of stuff. And Susan and I have great respect and admiration for Dean DeSoto, who runs CATS. So if he recommends something that we haven't recommended, bring it to my attention and we'll talk about it.
Judge, one last thing. He may have some fees outstanding with GPS. That's not going to cause the court a problem, is it?
He's gonna have what with GPS? I'm sorry.
He might have some fees outstanding with them. That's not going to be an issue, is it?
It'll be between him and the GPS people. He's gonna ultimately have to pay it, but if they work him a deal on paying it over a long stretch, it doesn't bother me.
Yes, sir.
All right. But Mr. Martinez, you're high profile because you got 2 DWIs and a prior obstruction. So anytime a police officer stops you from now until the day you die, and they run you on their little in-car computer, they're going to see you got 3 prior DWI type offenses, and they're going to arrest you no matter what else. It's not fair at all, but it's the way it is. So I'm trying to be as clear with you as I can, the danger of doing this. So we're going to get you through these 2 probations, and then you're going to be on your own, but we're not going to be there forever with a hammer over your head. So eventually you got to train yourself not to drive if you've been drinking, even if you have a legal right to drink. You understand, sir? I'm trying not to preach to you. I'm just telling you the way it is, and Ray will reinforce that police situation.
No, I totally understand. Thank you.
All right. Susan, we'll say substantial compliance within 30 days in all areas. How's that?
Yes, sir.
Why did the judge not want to waive the PSI?
Because it's state opposed.
Okay, once again, Mr. Orlando Martinez, in clause 610326, court accepts your plea of true to all conditions on the motion to revoke probation. I deny. State's motion to revoke your probation or to continue on probation with all prior requirements and no sanction at this time, although I have the authority to put you in jail for 30 days to get your attention. Will that be necessary, sir?
No, sir.
Another good answer. Thank you, sir. Altering and amending conditions, adding the scram bracelet, which I think was already a previous requirement of bond. I'm going to recall all warrants that are out for you, but you're still going to be required. So go ahead and go to your same scram installation appointment. You get that on at the earliest possible time. As soon as the scram is active, you can turn in your Smart Start mobile device and save that $95 a month or whatever that is. I'm going to add Communities Alliance for Traffic Safety Intensive Outpatient Drug Alcohol Rehabilitation Program, and I'm going to waive CATS NIP that you're already in. You can talk to Mr. DeSoto about possibly switching the fees you've already paid for the CATS NIP program because the judge tooled you around and switched courses on you, okay? And my guess is he'll work you a deal. I'm also going to order substantial compliance in all other areas, meaning any courses you haven't registered for, within 30 days, you got to be active in registering and starting those courses. And I don't know what you've done or haven't done, but we're starting over today, basically. Susan, what did I miss?
Nothing. I'll just reiterate that once you have your scram device, contact your officer to let them know that you're strapped, and then they'll send an order to me and I'll have the judge sign it. It'll be filed with the court. So it'll be 24 to 48 hours. But once you have your scram bracelet, you no longer have to blow, but you need to keep blowing until you get your scram.
Understood. Thank you.
And if you're working in a restaurant and somebody pours a margarita on your scram bracelet, it's going to go off. So try to keep your scram bracelet away from the margaritas in the restaurant. And everybody's tried that scam excuse before and it doesn't work very well. So I'm warning you in advance if that comes up. We know where it's going. Okay. All right. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Orlando Martinez in 610326?
No, Judge.
In clause 628026, State of Texas versus Orlando Martinez. This is also a motion to revoke community supervision. My assumption is from the defense that the plea is one thing going to be true with an explanation. Is that correct, Ray?
It is, Your Honor. And
I assume from the state and the defense, the recommendation is the same and they are in agreement with everything we did on the previous case?
Correct.
Okay. And these run CC anyway, so we're all good. So,
Yes, sir.
628026, court accepts your plea of true to all conditions on the motion to revoke probation with explanation. I deny the state's motion to revoke your probation or to continue on probation with all prior requirements and no sanction at this time, altering amending condition, adding the scram bracelet within 10 days. And once the scram bracelet is active, you can take off the Smart Start mobile device and turn it back in to save yourself money. Substantial compliance in all other areas, altering many conditions, changing the outpatient drug program from the CAT-SNP program to the inpatient intensive outpatient, which will be done but as soon as you get these new conditions read to you, et cetera. And all other requirements of the last case that we spoke about are going to be the same. I'm going to withdraw all warrants and all previous bond conditions as of today, but they probably won't take effect until tomorrow. Susan, what did I miss this time?
That's it. Mr. Martinez, you will be receiving amended conditions from your officer for each case. You should be receiving those within the next 24 hours. You need to electronically sign them and send them back to your officer. Your failure to do so could land you right back here via the Bexar County Jail, okay? If you don't hear from your officer by this time tomorrow, you need to call your officer and say, hey, where's my paperwork, okay?
Are you referring to Ms. Grace Salinas, probation officer, or my
Yes.
other pretrial?
No, Ms. Salinas, your probation officer.
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. Mr. Raymond Martinez, Mr. Orlando Martinez, you're dismissed. Thank you very much.
Judge, just one clarification for me. I think you covered it, but he can also take the GPS off once he has a scram on.
That is correct. The only requirement he's going to have is a scram bracelet.
Thank you, Judge.
And I think
Okay.
scram has a GPS capability, so if we want to go looking for him, I think that we can find him, but we don't normally use it.
Correct.
Just let's,
Ray, does he still have the active warrant?
He did not. He's on bond on the MTR.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure. Thank you.
all right, you got any final questions, Mr. Orlando Martinez?
Just one question on the GPS bracelet. How do I go about getting that off?
Well, it'll be on the computer that you can turn it in, so I assume you have to call pretrial services to make an appointment for you, I think is how that works. Susan, does that sound right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ray will have to find pretrial services number for you, or you can
Yeah,
just,
if you have any trouble, just call me, Mr. Martinez.
okay. All right, good luck, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Okay, last case we have cause number 623067, State of Texas versus Claudia Cantu. This is a first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Representing Ms. Cantu is Mr. Fernando Trevino. Representing the state, as previously referenced, is Assistant Criminal District Attorney Nicholas Maru. Representing the Bexar County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I remind is still under oath. My understanding, Mr. Trevino, is this is an uncontested motion to revoke probation. Is that correct?
Well, yes, and I kind of wanted to speak to state first.
Well, actually, we probably have time for you to do that now. Normally, if it was at the start, you know, we had all these other cases going. But if you guys want to go out in a talk room right now and chat briefly, 5 minutes, that give you enough time to get it figured out.
Be fine, Judge.
All right, why don't y'all go wrestle?
All right.
I'm gonna put you in breakout room 1.
Okay.
Nick, you should be able to go.
I think you and Nick can take Fernando though. I think.
All right.
All right, did you see it? The join 1. Nope. There you go. Do you want us off of you